G'day guys, Prof Tom here. Thanks for being on this journey. 14 days to better jiu-jitsu for you. I know it works for me, I know it works for my students, but we're really going to invest heavily in these next 14 days for you and your journey. The topics we're going to look at can be watched A to Z, start to finish now. You can binge watch them if you like, although I urge, regardless what you do with watching them, is you watch day one video on day one and you practice and test and measure it in your classes. Then when it's your time for your next jiu-jitsu class of the week, you watch day two and do that all the way through. Really measure small incremental results and you're going to get a overall jiu-jitsu game that's going to be thoroughly better after 14 days just by changing 14 little things. Okay, so I'm not going to keep you waiting. We'll start our journey on day one to becoming the best grappler you can be. Let's get started. Welcome to day 10. So, what is our initial goal of every role we are always in? It's to get to one of two positions, okay? Maybe even both. The mount or back control. We've got to look at these positions. We've got to look at why we get to them. We've got to look at how to hold them. We've got to look at how to finish from them. So this is going to be quite a big topic today, but you have to understand that the mount and the back in competition jiu-jitsu score the most. Okay, so in standard IBJJF, BJJ competitions, you'll get 4 points for the mount, 4 points for the back. We're going to have a look at both of those positions now, and you just need to know, guys, don't be one of those guys that says, oh, I prefer side control. No, you shouldn't. I prefer half guard. No, you shouldn't. You should pass the guard, and you should get to mount or the back. Now, some people say, well, they're hard to hold. It just means you're doing it wrong. It probably actually means you need to get to the mount or the back more so that you get better at it, then you'll like it more, then you want to get there. So let's have a look at why we get to the mount or the back. Well, first of all, from a striking perspective, they just provide a whole amount of offense for very limited offense coming back from your partner. But since we're just talking about grappling and we're not talking about hitting right now, we need to understand that on the grappling mats, why would you get to the mount or the back? Very simple. You can remain on the offensive when it goes wrong. Let's demonstrate. You're on your back, Nathan. I have managed to get to mount. Fantastic. However, Nathan secures the upper and rolls me off. Here. He is in my closed guard. I can minimize damage and I can straight away go on the attack. Okay? So the mount, if rolled off, is still kind of a good position for me. Okay? Now let's do that with side control. So now he's on his back, and I'm on top of Nathan in side control, because I'm one of those guys or girls that prefer side control. Well, now when you get rolled over by that strong bridge, you are now not in a good position. You have gone from being the killer to being killed. So the beauty of the mount in the back, just like if I have your back right now, if I have Nathan's back and he starts escaping and hips out and stuff like that, and he gets up on top now, he is going to be within my guard. So you see that the mount and the back have inherent protection mechanisms like insurance policies. The payout is the guard and it's enacted when people escape. So the mount and the back will protect you even when it goes wrong. It's important to realize that. But of course, let's try to make it not go wrong. So let's try to have a look at mount, how to hold it very well, okay, and the back, how to hold it very well. So if Nathan's on his back, number one thing in mount, guys, okay? Where are your knees and toes, and is your weight on the guy? There you go. You solve those two things and you are going to get fantastic results. So if I'm here mounted on Nathan, first thing, where are my knees, where are my toes? My toes are touching in behind his butt and my knees are as wide as they can go. Okay, this is the opposite to what most people do, which is feet apart, knees squeezed. Never squeeze your knees. Knees wide, toes in. Okay, It's a big change for a lot of you. But now, you've probably realized that when you hold mount on someone, they're barely getting any weight. No one's tapping to pressure under mount often. Let's change that. Wide knees, toes crossed or touching, and I want you to push your belly button through them like you're skydiving. Wide knees, okay? I back up, and now I push through, and my knees are floating, my hands are floating. All of my weight is through poor Nathan here. This is going to give me the freedom of my limbs to put in my chokes, to go for my arm bars, etc., while keeping him still, okay? Some people like to grapevine from mount, but it stops me from being able to submit him and move my hips, and when he decides to straighten his legs down and out, he'll beat my toes every time. So remember, when we're here in mount, wide knees, toes touching, and I'm going to push my chest and belly button through him, and I'm going to make my knees and hands float. This is going to improve your mount tremendously. Now, I'm on the back. When it comes to the back, guys, gi or no gi, we can hold it slightly differently, but the essence and the principles is always the same. We normally have a 2 hooks in type scenario, although we're certainly going to look at a better way to hold our feet from here. And we're going to have a seat belt, okay? So a seatbelt grip is over one shoulder, under the other, okay? So from here, just some little tips, guys. You always want to keep your head on the opposite side to the bicep. Don't ever hold it like this. This is hopeless. Head to the other side of the bicep, okay? Make sure you're holding onto this choke hand.